My girlfriend raised her glass and said, "Without my degree, you'd still be nobody." A few people laughed. I didn't. Fair. I stood up and left without saying goodbye. By morning, something she relied on every day was no longer answering her calls. I'm 34, been in a relationship for 4 years, and I just learned that some people will take credit for your entire existence while forgetting you were breathing just fine before they showed up. Let me back up. I'm a software developer, self-taught, no degree, started coding at 15 in my bedroom, built my first app at 17, sold it for enough money to skip college and just keep building. By 25, I was freelancing full-time. By 30, I had my own small company. 3 employees, consistent clients, good income, nothing massive, but stable and mine. I met her at a tech meetup 4 years ago. She had a master's in computer science, worked at a big firm, made good money. We clicked over debugging horror stories and awful client requests. Started dating, moved in together after a year. Here's the thing. She helped me. I won't pretend she didn't. Taught me proper algorithm optimization, helped restructure my code to be more efficient, introduced me to people in her network. Some of those introductions became clients. Her technical knowledge made my work better. I've never denied that. But somewhere along the way, she started believing she'd built me from scratch. Started telling people she'd taken me under her wing. Started introducing me as someone she'd mentored into success. Started taking credit for my business like she was a co-founder instead of a supportive girlfriend. At first, I let it slide. Didn't want to seem ungrateful. She had helped. But the comments got worse. More possessive, more dismissive of what I'd done before her. You were just a freelancer when we met. I still am, just with employees now. Because of the clients I brought you. 3 clients, out of 20. I appreciate it, but I had 17 others before you. Doing what? Small projects? I elevated you. These conversations happened monthly, then weekly. Then almost every time we were around her friends or colleagues, she'd diminish my past, inflate her contribution, make it sound like I was building WordPress sites in my parents' basement before she rescued me. The truth, I was making low 6 figures before we met. Owned my apartment, had a full client roster, was doing fine. Her help accelerated some things, made other things better, but it didn't create me from nothing. Last weekend was the breaking point. Her company threw a celebration. One of her colleagues got promoted. Drinks at an upscale bar, maybe 20 people. Developers, project managers, some executives. I knew a few of them. Had worked with 2 as clients before. I was talking to one of those former clients. He was congratulating me on a recent project. Said he'd heard good things. Said he might have more work coming my way. My girlfriend joined the conversation. Of course his work is good. I trained him. The client looked confused. I thought you met after he'd already been working for years. He was working, but not well. I taught him proper methodology, system architecture, everything that makes him actually viable now. I felt my face get hot. That's not exactly accurate. It's completely accurate. You were building small stuff. I showed you how to scale. You helped with scaling. You didn't teach me development. I've been coding for 19 years. Self-taught coding, which is basically learning bad habits until someone with real education fixes you. The client looked uncomfortable, excused himself. I stood there wanting to leave, but we'd just arrived. Driving separately wasn't an option. I was stuck. The night continued. She had a few drinks, got louder, more confident, started telling stories about fixing my code and explaining basic concepts to me. Made it sound like I was some amateur she'd pitied into competence. I didn't engage, just stood there, drinking my beer, watching her perform. Then came the toast. Her promoted colleague stood up, thanked everyone, made some jokes, then others started doing toasts. Congratulations, well wishes, industry jokes. My girlfriend stood up, raised her glass. I thought she was toasting her colleague. She wasn't. I want to toast my boyfriend. The perfect example of what good mentorship can do. When I met him, he was self-taught. No real structure, no proper education, just cobbling together code and hoping it worked. Now look at him, running his own company, real clients, professional work. Without my degree, you'd still be nobody. A few people laughed, thought it was a joke, some kind of roast humor between couples. I didn't laugh, just looked at her. She was smiling, proud of herself, completely serious. I set down my beer, stood up, said one word, fair. Then I walked out. Didn't say goodbye, didn't explain, didn't cause a scene, just left. Called a car, went home, sat in my apartment, the one I'd owned before meeting her, and thought about what she'd just said. Without her degree, I'd be nobody. Not without her help, not without her support. Without her degree. Like the piece of paper she earned gave me existence. Like I was nothing before her credentials touched my life. I pulled out my laptop, opened our shared documents. We had a lot of them. I'd built her a custom project management system for her side freelancing. She did consulting work outside her main job, used my software to manage it, tracked clients, invoices, deadlines, everything. That software was mine. I'd built it. She'd asked for it 2 years ago, said her company's tools were too clunky, asked if I could make something simpler. I did. Spent 3 weeks building it, never charged her, just gave it to her because she was my girlfriend. She relied on it every day. Had 40-some clients in there, thousands of dollars in pending invoices, project timelines, client communications, everything. I shut down her access, changed the admin password, removed her user account, made the whole system inaccessible to her. Then I sent one email. Since I was nobody before your degree, I'm reclaiming the tools this nobody built. You'll need to find other software for your consulting work. I recommend actually paying for it this time. I hit send at 11:47 p.m., went to bed, didn't wait for a response. Update 1. She came home at 1:30 a.m. I was still awake, heard her key in the lock, heard her come into the bedroom. What the hell was that? What was what? Leaving the party, walking out without saying anything. I said something, I said fair, then I left. You embarrassed me. Everyone was asking where you went. Everyone heard what you said about me. I'm sure they figured it out. It was a joke, a toast. You're being ridiculous. It wasn't a joke. You meant it. You've been saying versions of it for months. Tonight you just said it louder. I was celebrating you, showing everyone how far you've come. You were taking credit for my entire career, making it sound like I was nothing before you, which isn't true. I helped you. You know I did. You helped me. Past tense, with some things, not everything, and definitely not enough to claim ownership of who I am professionally. Ownership? I was complimenting you. You said without your degree, I'd be nobody. That's not a compliment. That's you erasing everything I did before you existed in my life. She was quiet. Then, are you really this upset over a toast? I'm upset that you genuinely believe I owe my entire existence to you. That's not love. That's ego. Fine, I'm sorry. Can we move past this? Check your consulting software. What? The project management system I built you. Check it. She pulled out her phone, opened the app. I watched her face change as she realized she was locked out. What did you do? I reclaimed my work. Since I'm nobody without your degree, surely you don't need software built by nobody. You can't do that. All my client data is in there. My software, my decision. You'll need to export your data. Oh wait, you can't, because you're locked out. This is vindictive. Give me back my access. No. My invoices are in there, my project timelines. Everything. Should have backed it up. You're holding my business hostage because I hurt your feelings? I'm taking back something I gave you freely when I thought we were partners. But since you think I'm nobody without you, I figured you wouldn't want gifts from nobody. Stop saying that. You said it first, in front of 20 people. Called me nobody without your degree. Now I'm acting like the nobody you think I am." She started to cry. "Please, I have deadlines, client deliverables. I need that system. You have a master's degree in computer science. Build your own. That's not fair. Neither was your toast." She grabbed a pillow, went to the couch. I heard her making calls, probably trying to figure out data recovery. Good luck with that. I'd built that system on my own servers. Everything was encrypted. Without my credentials, she had nothing. Update 2 morning came. She was gone, left for work early, probably didn't want to face me. I made coffee, checked my email. She'd sent 12 messages overnight. First few were angry, demanding access, threatening legal action. Then they turned desperate, explaining how much she needed the system, how she had client presentations today, how she'd look unprofessional showing up without her project data. Last email was apologetic, said she'd overstepped, said she didn't mean to diminish me, said she'd had too much to drink, said she'd never claim credit like that again. I didn't respond, just drank my coffee, went to my home office, started my workday. She called at lunch. I answered, "We need to talk." "Go ahead." "I'm sorry, really sorry. What I said was wrong. I got carried away. I do think you're talented. I do think you built your success. I wanted people to see that I contributed, that I was part of your story. You are part of my story, but you're not the author. There's a difference. I understand that now. Can you please give me back access? I'll back up everything immediately. I'll never take it for granted again." "No." "Why not?" "Because you don't get it. You're not sorry you said it. You're sorry it had consequences. Sorry you lost access to free software. Sorry I'm not rolling over like I usually do." "That's not true." "Then tell me. When you said I'd be nobody without your degree, did you believe it?" Silence. "You did. You do. You genuinely think I'm only successful because of you. That's not something you said drunk. That's something you believe sober. I don't think you're nobody. But you think I'd be nobody without you, which is the same thing. I'm sorry. What else can I say?" "Nothing. There's nothing you can say. Words don't fix this. You showed me how you see me, how you see my work, how you see our relationship, and I don't like what I saw. So you're punishing me? Taking away my business tools? That's your solution? I'm taking back what's mine. You want to claim credit for building me up? Fine. But you don't get to use what I actually built in the process. This is cruel. This is proportional. You humiliated me publicly. I responded privately by removing something you took for granted. Seems fair." She hung up. I went back to work. Update 3. That evening, her best friend called me. I almost didn't answer. Decided to out of curiosity. "What you're doing is wrong." "Hello to you too." She's scrambling, trying to reconstruct client data. She missed a deadline today because she couldn't access her project timeline. She has a master's degree in computer science. I'm sure she'll figure it out. "Don't be an ass." She apologized. She apologized for consequences, not for what she said, not for what she meant. She was drunk. She made a mistake. She's been making that mistake for months. The toast was just the loudest version. So you're going to destroy her consulting business over it? I'm not destroying anything. I'm just not supporting it anymore. Big difference. You built that system for her. She needs it. I built it when I thought she respected me, respected my work, respected what I'd accomplished before her. Turns out she doesn't. So why would I keep giving her free tools? Because you love her. Love doesn't mean accepting disrespect. It doesn't mean letting someone take credit for your entire professional existence. It doesn't mean providing free labor to someone who calls you nobody. She didn't call you nobody. Yes, she did. She said without her degree, I'd be nobody. Exact words. 20 witnesses. Her friend went quiet. She told me it was a joke. It wasn't. And she knows it wasn't. And now she's dealing with what happens when you disrespect someone who's been supporting you. you're being vindictive. I'm being done. There's a difference. She hung up. I ordered dinner, watched TV, felt nothing, no guilt, no regret, just clarity. Update 4. 2 days later, she moved out, said she couldn't be with someone who'd sabotage her career. I didn't argue, just helped her pack, watched her take her stuff, leave her key, walk out of the apartment I'd owned before she ever existed in my life. Her last words, "I hope you're happy. You proved your point. You destroyed what we had over your ego." My ego? You stood up in front of everyone and claimed you built me. But sure, this is about my ego. I was celebrating our partnership. You were taking credit. If you can't see the difference, that's why we're here. She left. I sat in my quiet apartment, looked at the space where her stuff used to be, felt lighter. The next week, mutual friends reached out. Some took her side, said I'd overreacted, said a toast wasn't worth ending a relationship, said I should have communicated better instead of locking her out of software. I told them all the same thing. She didn't end our relationship over a toast. She ended it over months of diminishing what I built before her. The toast was just the moment I stopped accepting it. Some understood. Most didn't. The ones who knew my work, who'd known me before her, understood. The ones who'd only met me through her thought I was being petty. I didn't care. Block buttons exist for a reason. Update 5. 3 weeks later, I got an email from her company. Her boss. The one I'd done contract work for 2 years ago. One of those 3 clients she'd introduced me to. Heard you and my employee split. Wanted to reach out. We have a major project coming up. System overhaul. Need someone who knows our infrastructure. Interested? I wrote back. Depends. Will she be involved? Different department. You'd be working with our CTO. She'd never even know you were in the building. Then yes. Send me the details. The contract came through. 6-month project. Significant money. Exactly the kind of work she'd said I'd need her degree to access. Except I'd accessed it 2 years ago through her introduction, sure, but I'd earned it through my work. And now I was back without her involvement at all. Started the project a month later. Ran into her exactly once in the building. She saw me. Turned around, walked the other way. I kept walking, didn't acknowledge her, didn't care. Her friend texted me. She saw you at her office. She's devastated. She works there. I'm a contractor. We're both adults. She'll survive. She can't believe you're working there after everything. I was working there before we broke up. This is a new contract, but it's the same client. My work speaks for itself. Doesn't need her permission or involvement. You're rubbing it in her face. I'm doing my job. She just happens to work at the same company. If that bothers her, she can leave. I'm contracted through December. No response after that. Final update. It's been 4 months. The contract ended, turned into a retainer. They want me available for future projects. I said yes. Good money, good work. Doesn't require her degree or her approval. She's apparently dating someone new, someone from her company, someone with credentials. I heard through the mutual friends who still follow both of us. I didn't ask for details, didn't care enough to ask. I'm single, focusing on work, hired another employee, expanded my client base, doing better financially than I ever did while we were together. Turns out I work better when someone isn't constantly telling me I'd be nothing without them. I never gave her back access to the software. She rebuilt her systems elsewhere. Paid for project management tools like everyone else. Probably better for her in the long run. Less dependent on someone who might lock her out when she disrespects them. I saw her one last time. Coffee shop near her office. She was in line ahead of me. Didn't see me until I was standing right behind her. Oh, hi. Hi. How are you? Good. You? Fine. Busy. I bet. Awkward silence. She got her coffee, turned to leave, stopped. I'm sorry for what I said. For how I made you feel. I was wrong. Okay. Is that it? Just okay? What else do you want me to say? I don't know. Forgiveness, maybe? I don't forgive people who call me nobody. I just move on from them. I never called you nobody. You said without your degree I'd be nobody. Same thing. I regret it. Good. Maybe you'll think twice before taking credit for someone else's work again. She walked away. I got my coffee. Went back to my office. The one I'd built. Without her degree. Without her help. Without needing her to exist. I'm 34, single, running a successful company. Learned that some people will diminish you to elevate themselves. Will take credit for your work to feel important. Will make you feel small to make themselves feel big. And the moment you stop letting them, they'll accuse you of being vindictive. But there's nothing vindictive about reclaiming what's yours. Nothing petty about refusing to support someone who disrespects you. Nothing wrong with walking away from someone who thinks you'd be nobody without them. Because here's the truth. I was somebody before her. I'll be somebody after her. And the fact that she needed to believe otherwise says everything about her and nothing about me.